Hi, I'm Brad Williams of World Cup Supply, and as part of our partnership with USSA and USST, we're providing you with a series of short videos about on-hill equipment. Our first segment will focus on gate hinges. We'll show you everything you need to know so you'll understand how your hinges work and how to maintain them. World Cup Supply offers two types of hinges from SPM, polycord and metal. Metal hinges are the workhorse of all hinges and will last for years. They can also be maintained and repaired, unlike any polycord hinge, which makes them a great long-term investment. Heavier than a polycord hinge, SPM metal hinges for 27 and 30 millimeter gates are used for all levels of racing. Metal hinges are made with a variety of parts: the spine or tendon, a top and a bottom spring, upper encasement, lower encasement, rings, top and bottom and middle, and there are always 5 rings to an SPM metal hinge, caps, washers, tightening bolts, and shaft protection cap for the inside of the shaft. So now we'll show you how an SPM metal hinge is assembled. Start with the spine at either one of the encasements. This is interchangeable. There's no top or bottom to the spine or the tendon. 1, middle rings, and then an outer ring. In the outer ring you want to see the inside raised edge pointing to the outside of the tendon. Then we take the upper encasement, one of the springs, the other spring. Then we take the cap, fits inside the center of the spring, washer, one tightening bolt, make that snug, flip it over, cap on the other end, washer, tightening bolt, and now it's time to tighten it up. Grab the hinge by the center and tighten the bolt. We then take the second tightening nut and go through the same process. Do that at both ends. And the general rule of thumb is that you want the end of the cap that covers the spring to be flush with the end of, in this case, the lower encasement, and in this case, the upper encasement, so that it is almost flush with the end of the upper encasement. Then the last step is to attach the cap that covers the bolt and protects the inside of the shaft from impact. There's your completed hinge. This particular metal hinge has a broken lower encasement. What is great about the metal hinges is that within about 5 minutes or less, we can repair this hinge and get it back on the hill. So we'll show you how to do that. We'll undo one tightening nut, second tightening nut. We'll remove, in this case, the lower spring and the washer and the cap. Simply remove the broken lower encasement, replace it with a new or used hinge that you may have that was broken. Slide that on, insert the spring, the washer, first tightening nut, tighten that down a little bit, your second tightening nut, and the hinge is repaired. The thing to keep in mind is that the cost of a new metal hinge from any manufacturer will range from $20 to $25. This part will cost about $1.50 to $2 and about 2 minutes to make the repair. So it's not always necessary to throw the metal hinge away when there's some form of breakage. All of these parts can be replaced very, very easily at very little cost. One of the questions we're often asked by customers is whether or not a base that has been used on a 30 millimeter gate will also work on a 27 millimeter gate. And the answer is yes. In the case of the metal hinge, the only difference between the 27 millimeter hinge and the 30 millimeter hinge is the following. The diameter of the upper encasement of the 27 millimeter hinge is narrower. The springs on the 30 millimeter hinge are a little beefier than those on the 27 millimeter hinge. So, the brush grip base or a screw-in base will fit nicely on a 30 millimeter hinge or the 27 millimeter hinge. And for that matter, for any other type of hinge from any other manufacturer.